Welcome to the Epiphany Chapel in the Wissahickon Inn on the Springside Chestnut Hill Academy campus. For those of you I have not met, my name is Steve Druggan, and it is my honor to be the head of Springside Chestnut Hill Academy. And we're here this evening for the awards ceremony, the joint awards ceremony for Chestnut Hill Academy and for Springside School for the awards for alumni classes of for the 2021 Alumni Awards. I just want to say a few words about two wonderful people, Gordon Gary and Katie Schreiner, who are the presidents of the Alumni Association, have both been so invaluable during the last year and a half, keeping the community strong and together as we navigated these challenging times. And your alma mater, I hope you know, was open for our early childhood center, and lower school did not miss a day this year. So they never actually went virtual. They had the students on campus the entire time. Our middle school were on campus over 85% of the time, and our upper school on campus over 75% of the time. So your alma mater took advantage of these incredible 62 acres and spaces like this to get students on campus where we know they needed to be. But I want to really thank Gordon and Katie for your support during this year. And Gordon, thank you for your service as president of the CHA Alumni Association for the last 4 years, 3 years? 4 years, and Gordon will be rotating off. But thank you so much, Gordon, for your leadership, and Katie for your leadership. And with that, I'll leave you to the award ceremony, and I believe Mr. Groom will go first. Thank you for coming, and enjoy the weekend.
In 2020, we proudly honored Bob Peck, class of 70, as the CHA Alumnus of the Year. Bob is a longtime volunteer, board member, parent, and supporter of CHA and SCH. Bob served on CHA's Board of Trustees from 1979 to 1987 and on SCH's board from 2010 to 2020. During that time, he actively participated in fundraising for the McCausland Lower School and the Restore the Wreck campaign. Bob boasts an impressive professional resume. He is a senior fellow at the Academy of Natural Sciences, which is part of Drexel University, a writer with several books published, a naturalist, and a historian who has traveled extensively. He is the winner of many awards, including Philadelphia's Wick Strickland Award for outstanding contributions to the cultural life of Philadelphia. In 2012, he was awarded an honorary doctorate from the University of Delaware, and in 2015, he was honored with the Sarah Chapman Francis Medal for Environmental Writing by the Garden Club of America. He also received the David S. Ingalls Jr. Award for Excellence in 2018, and Bob was a visiting scholar at the American Academy in Rome. Additionally, the Metropolitan Museum of Art, the Princeton University Library, Reader's Digest Books, David Attenborough, and the BBC rely on him as a valued consultant. In 2006, he represented the President of the United States and the U.S. State Department at Mongolia's 800th birthday celebration in Ulaanbaatar. Bob will be receiving the Founders Medal from the Society for the History of Natural History in London. The medal is awarded to, quote, persons who have made a substantial contribution to the study of the history of natural history, and who have made, quote, a sustained record of high quality publications in the field. The society is based at the British Museum. And here's the question I've been wanting to ask you all night. Are you familiar with Peck's peeper? In 1988, it became a new species of South American frog, one of 3 new frog species that Bob discovered in the Amazon basin. Named in his honor, I hope I pronounced this right, Eleutherodactylus pecki is commonly called Peck's peeper. But he's our honorary today because he always finds time for SCH and is often a benefactor of his expertise, experience, extensive knowledge, and time. His photographs have been published in books, journals, and magazines, and exhibited in museums. Some of them are now part of the SCH permanent collection and can be seen hanging on the walls of the Wissahickon Inn. Yes, he shared his experience on many occasions, including this past Monday, at one of our virtual alumni events. Bob's love of the natural world shapes his influence on SCH with a science room in the lower school bearing his family's name. Congratulations to Bob Peck, and thank you for your dedication and service. Would you come forward, please?
The Young Alumnus Award recognizes the achievements of alumnus who has graduated within the past 20 years. It honors their excellence in his career or in service to the community. The 2020 recipient of this award is John Cella. John is a graduate of Harvard University and Harvard Law School, and he was an executive editor in the Harvard National Security Journal. John went on to serve as a judge advocate in the United States Navy Judge Advocate General Corps, where he represented numerous clients at court-martial and administrative hearings as a defense counsel. Currently, John is a senior associate at Arnold & Porter in Washington, D.C. He focuses his practice on civil litigation and has represented clients in all phases of state and federal litigation, including trial. He also serves as the co-chair of the firm's Military Veterans Affinity Group, Veterans and Affiliates Leadership Organization. It is my honor to present the 2020 Young Alumnus of the Year Award to John Cella. Congratulations. The Chestnut Hill Alumni Association recognizes an alumnus who has made significant, far-reaching contributions to society and who is widely respected by peers in his field with the Roll of Fame Award. In 2020, it was presented to Sidney Lee, class of 1960. Sid had a 43-year career as a professor of English, teaching primarily at Dartmouth College and Middlebury College, but also had brief appointments at Yale University and Wesleyan University. He has also taught at universities in Hungary, Italy, and Switzerland. He is the recipient of fellowships from Guggenheim, Fulbright, and Rockefeller Foundations. Sid is a former Pulitzer finalist in poetry. He founded and for 13 years edited the New England Review, a national literary quarterly now sponsored by Middlebury College and celebrating its 40th year of publication. He has published 13 collections, the most recent from Four Way Books, New York City in 2019. He's also published a novel, 2 scholarly books, and 4 volumes of personal essays. Also in 2019, he published another volume of essays, The Music of What Happens, Lyric and Everyday Life, his collected newspaper columns from 2011 to 2015, his years as Vermont Poet Laureate. Among Sid's other principal interests have been literacy and conversation. He was a tutor, board member, and president over the course of 25 years of association with the Central Vermont Adult Basic Education, which serves those with severe educational deficiencies in his home state. He is trustee and past president of Down East Lake Land Trust, which over the course of its 17-year existence has protected almost 400,000 acres from development and purchased 60,000 acres as working community forest near his summer camp in Washington County, Maine. He co-chaired and chaired the Trust's 2 principal capital campaigns, helping to raise the better portion of the $58 million dedicated to the Trust's efforts. He lives in Newbury, Vermont, with his wife, Robin Barone, and his 5 children and 7 grandchildren. Congratulations, Sid, on a well-deserved Roll of Fame award.
Charles B. Chaz Landreth, class of 1966's uncle, Bernard Landreth III, graduated from Chestnut Hill Academy in 1918. Chaz's granddaughter, Hartley Landreth, is a member of Springside Chestnut Hill Academy's Early Childhood Center, class of 2036. That's 118 years. Chaz has been part of the CHA-SCH family his entire life. His parents, siblings, cousins, children, nieces, and nephews, and now Hartley, have all attended CHA Springside or SCH. As a student, Chaz was president of his class, president of the Glee Club, a writer for the Campus Lantern, photo editor of his class's Cerulean, and a member of the Players, whose most notable role was as Curly in the 1966 production of Rodgers and Hammerstein's Oklahoma. A talented athlete, he played football and, his first love, baseball. And in one of those hard to believe but true coincidences, Chaz was a member of the 1966 Interact Championship baseball team, the first CHA baseball championship since the 1929 on which his father, Charles H. Charlie Landreth, class of 29, played. After graduating from CHA, Chaz attended Lee College, which is now a part of the University of Minnesota, earning an English and business degree in 1970. After college, he returned to Philadelphia. His family was then living in the school's faculty apartment because Charlie was the school's business manager. Faculty apartment is now the development office. He immediately became a part of the CHA Alumni Association's executive board and a part of the committee I chaired to rewrite the association's constitution. The new constitution increased the alumni's role in the school, added a second representative to the school's board of trustees, and paved the way for the Alumni Association to become the core of the newly established development programs. After serving as the association's executive vice president, he became its president in 1976, serving until 1978. He loved that time, noting that, quote, when you're president or just on the Alumni Association Executive Board, you have the opportunity to get to know a lot of alumni of different ages, not just your own class. Chaz, like so many of the Landreth clan, has been a loyal supporter of the school for his entire adult life. His most recent official role was as the CHA alumni member of the head of search committee that blessed us with Steve Druggan. Chaz said that he was impressed with Steve because of his diverse experience, his ability to raise money, and his familiarity with technology. Talking about Chaz, Steve said, one of my first memories of my association with SCH was meeting Chaz Landreth as part of the search committee in August of 2015. Chaz was, as always, the quintessential SCH ambassador. From that day forward, I have been blessed to have Chaz as a supporter and counsel. Beyond his wisdom, I also count on his honesty and his judgment. Two quick stories about Chaz's selection as last year's Steele Award winner. First, when he was nominated for the award, several people asked, hasn't he won it already? And Chaz is a man whose humility would surprise no one. While he was thrilled when the varsity football field was named Landreth Field in his father's honor, he wasn't quite so impressed when he was selected for this award. That leads me to the second story, and one that I hope doesn't reopen any family wounds. A couple of weeks after Chaz's selection and after he was informed of the honor, I ran into his kids at church. When I casually said how great I thought their father's award was, they had no idea what I was talking about. Clearly, their father hadn't mentioned it to them. As that shows, his concern for others and for his school far exceeds his own self-interest. It is with great personal pleasure that I am honored to salute the 2020 Francis P. Steele Jr. 77 Award winner, Charles B. Landreth, class of 1966.
The Chestnut Hill Academy Alumnus of the Year recognizes an alumnus for outstanding service to the Alumni Association or to Springside Chestnut Hill Academy. When Paul Hines, Honorary 03, retired from the classroom in 2019, he started working on special projects at SCH. His first project was the writing and publication of The Lore of the Wissahickon Inn, a history of the building that has been the center of Chestnut Hill Academy and since 2011, the SCH campus. While the completion of the book is Paul's latest accomplishment, his 40 years at the school are much more than that. Joining the CHA faculty in 1981 as a fifth grade math teacher, he moved to the middle school in 1989, where he spent the next 30 years. During his entire career at the school, Paul has been a 3-season coach, cross country in the fall, track in the spring, and beginning in 1990, indoor track in the winter. His teams have won Interact championships in 1994, 99, and 2001. His outstanding coaching career led to the recent induction into the Philadelphia chapter of the Pennsylvania Sports Hall of Fame. And in 2018, student Rex Leninger of the class of 20 led the effort to dedicate the track in Paul's honor. Rex said, as part of the dedication ceremony, he has taught his students through the lens of honesty, courage, loyalty, integrity, and sportsmanship. Thank you, Mr. Hines, for leading thousands of kids on the right path in life. Thank you, Mr. Hines, for molding and inspiring countless athletes. And thank you, Mr. Hines, for dedicating nearly 40 years of your life to the constant improvement of this family. It is an honor, as his former student and the benefactor of his tremendous influence, to present Paul Hines, Honorary 2003, with the 2021 CHA Alumnus of the Year Award.
Again, the Young Alumnus Award recognizes the achievements of an alumnus who has graduated within the past 20 years, and it honors his excellence in his career or in service to the community. It is my pleasure to present the 2021 Young Alumnus Award to Stephen Skeel, class of 2013. After graduating, Stephen attended NYU and studied film production. While in college, he made music videos and did some film festivals and started a production company in his sophomore year of college. In his senior year at NYU, he graduated early and devoted himself full-time to his company. He and his business partner formed Seven Wonders Cinema, where Stephen is executive producer. A former teacher said, quote, "Stephen created a business in the same way as he built his video production skills, through grit and hard work. One of the last videos he created while at SCH was an explanation of how he created special effects so his audience could see the layers and complexity of this type of operation. He still creates these videos in the professional world while on a grander level. He is both a teacher and artist, and he is always learning new and exciting ways to wow his audience," end quote. The company produces short documentaries and also worked with Comcast, Blue Shield, and MasterCard. Some of their work includes a documentary about one of the last surviving paratroopers from D-Day attacks from World War II, and that was distributed by National Geographic. He also recently finished producing a short documentary about a country music artist who suffered a stroke and his road to recovery. Other projects include filmed commercials with Mercedes-Benz, Manhattan, and US Bank. His company has also produced corporate videos for Wasabi Technology, Jijacho. He has worked with SCH to make a video for fundraising for the new McCausland Lower School. Seven Wonders just opened an office in LA and now is a 10-person company. Congratulations, Stephen Skeel, class of 2013. The Roll of Fame Award recognizes an alumnus who has made significant, far-reaching contributions to society. He is considered an expert in his field, and his work has had an effect that reaches beyond the bounds of a single community. This year's Roll of Fame, 2021's Roll of Fame Award is being presented to Dr. Jackson Bowers Beecham, class of 1960. This presentation was written by Sid Lee, one of our other awardees. After graduating from CHA, Dr. Beecham attended Williams College and Temple Medical School. He then spent 5 years in postgraduate training in medicine, obstetrics, and gynecology at the University of Vermont. While there, he published the medical field's first papers on the intrauterine diagnosis of prenatal liver dysfunction and the increased incidence of unilateral fallopian tube infection associated with a certain intrauterine device, a paper so persuasive that the device was taken off the market. Jack was also first to demonstrate the association of a complex blood clotting process with underlying organ damage in toxemia of pregnancy. In 1972, Jack and a patient challenged a 122-year-old Vermont law prohibiting a physician from performing an abortion. In Beecham v. Leahy, the Vermont Supreme Court overruled this statute, and abortion became legal in Vermont 1 year before the U.S. Supreme Court's Roe v. Wade decision. A conscientious objector during the Vietnam War, he had to bring suit against the Secretary of the Air Force in order to prove the sincerity of his moral beliefs. A new advanced field in gynecologic oncology was emerging in the 1970s, and Jack accepted 2 cancer fellowships in Oslo and Boston. His Norwegian research included an analysis of the world's largest published series of ovarian granulosa cell tumors, as well as the most extensive analysis of the infrequent but virulent small cell cancer of the cervix. Jack founded 2 academic gynecologic oncology programs at the cancer centers of the University of Rochester and of Dartmouth College. Further publications included his anatomy-conserving approach to vulvar cancer and the use of honey dressings to speed healing in infected surgical incisions. Jack was a principal investigator for the National Cancer Institute's collaborative gynecological cancer studies and worked with basic scientists in pursuing the discovery of an ovarian cancer antigen to assist early diagnosis and the laboratory growth of spherical ovarian cancer tumors for potential chemotherapy testing. He was invited to present his scientific work at meetings in North and South America, the British Isles, Scandinavia, and Southern Europe. Jack trained over 100 residents and fellows in surgical, postoperative, and medical management, as well as compassionate care of women whose disease could not be cured. He was chosen as a Teacher of the Year by medical students and residents at both institutions. At his retirement, Jack led the medical school faculty parade at Dartmouth's graduation ceremonies, and a new Chief Resident Award for Humanism was established in his honor. It is with great pleasure that I present this year's 2021 Roll of Fame Award to Dr. Beecham. Congratulations.
The 2021 Francis P. Steele Jr. Award is awarded to Peter G. Randall, class of 1969, in recognition of his unique contributions and extraordinary devotion to the school throughout the years. Mr. Randall has worked at CHA and SCH since 2001. An engineering graduate from Princeton University with an MBA from Wharton, Mr. Randall spent many years working as an executive in high-tech companies and later served on the CHA Board of Trustees prior to joining the faculty. When he joined as the Director of Technology and was responsible for all things geek. It was while serving in this role that he started the robotics team,
an extracurricular competitive robotics activity that quickly evolved into a course and later the Department of Engineering and Robotics. As a 9th grade student in 2003, I was a part of the first robotics team at CHA. Peter led a small group of students that worked on the robot in the hallway after school. The robot and the equipment was then stored in a tiny second floor server closet overnight. Under Peter's guidance and leadership, robotics and engineering at SCH has evolved to realize Mr. Randall's vision, an entire department that offers inquiry and project-based experiences to challenge students not just academically, but through the development of non-cognitive skills such as teamwork, communication, resourcefulness, and persistence. The department now serves students across the entire upper school, as well as through exploratory and elective classes to all divisions of SCH through the Center for Entrepreneurial Leadership. Over the last 20 years, Mr. Randall has dedicated countless hours to the success of his students, often working summers, weekends, late into the night, even past midnight during robotics build season or competition season. Mr. Randall's unique contributions in creating what has now become a core part of the identity of SCH is the perfect representation of this award through his outstanding and extraordinary devotion to the SCH community. Last year, Mr. Randall was honored with a car parade, recognized as the 2020 Philadelphia Phillies Teacher of the Year. And in 2019, the robotics team, 1218 Vulcan Robotics, went to the World Championships where they came back with the first place prize. However, perhaps the greatest representation of Mr. Randall's impact is the recognition and influence that he's had on the lives of so many of his students. I arrived to Philadelphia earlier this afternoon and spent time walking around campus. And in those conversations, I was surprised to hear, even without introducing myself to people, the influence that Peter Randall had on the lives of so many relatives and students and siblings. Personally, I remember the fear and anxiety that I felt as a senior at Columbia Engineering 11 years ago. My robot was accidentally destroyed overnight, just hours before my senior design expo. I stayed up throughout the night, waiting until 6:30 a.m. to call Mr. Randall to ask for help. An hour later, my mom was on 95 on her way to New York with a spare robot controller that Mr. Randall had loaned me to complete my project, and I graduated. Professionally, my work has also been inspired by Peter's legacy. And following his model, I work tirelessly to create the same type of impact engineering experiences for students around the world. Someone once said, the ability to create is the most empowering thing that can happen to an individual. From hovercrafts and underwater robots to airplanes and electric vehicles, Peter's willingness and commitment to invest in and empower each student to realize their vision has created immeasurable impact that is core and unique to the identity of SCH. From all of us, Mr. Randall, I'd like to say thank you and a huge congratulations.
The boys didn't follow in the book. So. Sorry. Okay. And now, with great pleasure, I'd like to present the Springside School Alumni Awards. First, we will recognize our alumni who received awards in 2020, but because of the pandemic, we're not able to be recognized in person. Our first award, the Outstanding Young Alumna Award, is given in recognition of the achievements of an alumna who has graduated within the past 20 years and has demonstrated excellence in a career or service to the community. In 2020, this award was presented to Ann Eisenhower Turnbull, class of 2005. Ann received her BA from Mount Holyoke College in Politics and Art History and a professional certification in Public Relations from the University of Virginia. She is the Public Affairs Officer for the State Department's Office of Overseas Employment in the Bureau of Human Resources. Ann currently lives and works in Jerusalem, Israel. In her public relations role, she serves as a communications coordinator to the 56,000 locally employed staff that support U.S. embassies overseas. Previously, she served as an economic associate at the U.S. consulate in Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. In that role, she supported the U.S.-Vietnam bilateral relationship and oversaw programming in support of entrepreneurship, innovation, science, and technology. Prior to that, she served as a press secretary during the Obama administration for the Office of the U.S. Trade Representative in the Executive Office of the President. Jeez. Woo. In this capacity, she was a spokesperson for the USTR on a variety of trade issues, including the Trans-Pacific Partnership. In the State Department, she has served in several capacities. Starting in the Office of Public Liaison, she managed foreign policy, domestic outreach, then moved to the Office of Strategic Planning and Communications in 2011, where she oversaw communications for the 2012 NATO Summit in Chicago and the Global Entrepreneurship Summits in 2014, 15, and 16. She has worked broadly on U.S. foreign policy with a focus on international security, economic issues, and women's rights for almost 10 years. Ann has dedicated her career to communications around foreign policy. Her work has contributed to the global community and demonstrates the values of diversity and international understanding that Springside inspired us all to support. We are sorry that Ann could not be here today. Please join me in congratulating her.
In 2020, the Distinguished Service Award was presented to Nadine Badger Stevenson, class of 1990, in recognition of her unselfish devotion to her alma mater and her contributions to the school community. In her professional life, Nadine serves as a senior counsel at the Philadelphia Housing Authority, but it is her work as a volunteer for Springside and later SCH for which she is being recognized with the Distinguished Service Award. Nadine has given back to her Springside and SCH in many important ways. She has served as the president of the Springside Alumni Association, working to further its goals of maintaining and strengthening connections between graduates and the school community through organizing various alumni events. Nadine, a current parent of 2 SCH students, has also served on numerous Parents Association committees and is president of the Parents Association. In this role, she worked as a liaison between the administration and the parents to build community, fundraise, and support the school. Currently, Nadine sits on the SCH Board of Trustees. In addition to serving as co-chair of the Governance Committee, she recently served as co-chair of the Successful Search Committee that appointed SCH's next head of school. Nadine has a long and deep connection to the school as an alumna, a parent, and a trustee. We are thrilled to present the 2020 Distinguished Service Award to you, Nadine. Congratulations.
The Distinguished Alumna Award recognizes an alumna who has made a significant contribution in her field of interest and whose accomplishments have had an effect on the larger community. In 2020, this award was presented to Allison Scott, class of 1974. Allison Scott is a staff orthopedic surgeon with over 25 years experience. She currently works at Shriners Hospitals for Children in Houston and is board certified by the American Board of Orthopedic Surgery. Allison received an undergraduate degree in mechanical engineering from Princeton University and earned a medical degree from the University of Texas Medical School at Houston, where she also completed her residency in orthopedic surgery. She pursued a student fellowship in pediatric orthopedics at Baylor College of Medicine. Although she treats a broad range of orthopedic conditions, Allison's special interests are clubfoot and other congenital foot problems, orthopedic treatment of cerebral palsy, and Blount's disease. She has been published in multiple peer-reviewed scientific journals and regularly conducts presentations through the United States, Canada, and China. As a volunteer doctor, Allison travels annually to Guatemala to operate on children with orthopedic issues. She is the recipient of the Castle Connolly Top Doctors Award. She is married with 3 children, 2 grandchildren, and enjoys competing in triathlons. For your contributions and impact on your field, we present you with the 2020 Distinguished Alumna Award. Congratulations, Allison.
The 2021 Outstanding Young Alumna Award is presented this year to Cara D'Addario Brown, class of 2004, in recognition of her achievements, excellence in her career, and service. Cara received a BA in English and Creative Writing from the University of Pennsylvania, where she was a Benjamin Franklin Honors Scholar. She holds an MBA in Marketing and Strategic Management from Villanova University, where she was a graduate fellow in the Department of Marketing and Business Law. At Villanova, Cara was inducted into Beta Gamma Sigma, a business honor society, and was awarded the Bartley Medallion by the Graduate School of Business, the highest distinction the school can bestow upon a graduating student. Cara first worked in publishing at the University of Pennsylvania Press, Random House, and Scholastic. She then shifted to marketing, working for Kraft Foods, Wawa, Campbell Soup Company, and GlaxoSmithKline. At Campbell Soup, Cara led and developed e-commerce strategies for the company's U.S. portfolio of brands at key retailers such as Amazon, Target, and Walmart. During her time at GlaxoSmithKline, she managed the firm's e-commerce strategy and operations for its U.S. vaccines business for 3 years, then transitioned to the company's oncology team, where she served as the acting director of patient marketing, helping to launch a cancer product to treat multiple myeloma. Really pronouncing. Throughout her career, Cara has continued to write and publish. In 2020, she left Glaxo to pursue a full-time career in writing. Her writing often examines the diverse ways in which illness and loss affect the human experience. She has performed at the Moth Grand Slam and is a Moth Story Slam winner. Her work has been published in the Pennsylvania Gazette, Philadelphia Stories, the Best of Philadelphia Stories anthology, the Belladonna, and the Chestnut Hill Local, among other publications. She is currently at work on her first novel, which has been accepted to the 2021 Yale Writers Workshop. Cara has a lifelong commitment to serving her community. She is a Springside class agent and alumni interviewer for the University of Pennsylvania. Cara is active in her church community, where she is a small group leader for Walking with Purpose, a Catholic women's Bible study program for today's women of faith. Previously, she held volunteer positions on the auction committee for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society and served as a judge for the College Echo Awards for Marketing Edge, a national nonprofit connecting marketing students, academics, and professionals. Outside of work, Cara enjoys spending time with her husband, John, CHA class of '04, her energetic Springer Spaniel, George, and her daughter, Lily, who is the light of her life. She also enjoys spending time with friends from the class of 2004, especially for the SS 04 Book Club. It is with great pleasure that I present Cara with this year's Outstanding Young Alumna Award.
are we? The 2021 Distinguished Service Award recognizes a small but mighty group of colleagues who, through their devotion to the health and safety of our community, have made an outstanding contribution to the SCH community. We present this year's award to our COVID team, Ann Stout, Eileen Bond, Dr. Heather Lubell, and Amy Keogh. In an extraordinary year, this group of medical professionals has worked together to guide SCH through the challenges and complexities of the pandemic in order to keep our SCH community safe and functioning. Their protocols, research, guidance, communication, oversight, and expertise reflect the extraordinary care and dedication that they brought to their work over the past 15 months. From managing Magnus Health and calling when we didn't complete it, our online health check system, to providing mass guidance, dispensing supplies, and monitoring COVID cases, and keeping the community informed about the latest public health updates. This team kept our students in school and learning in person as much as was humanly possible during a very unpredictable year. Ann Stout, an honorary 2011 alumna, is our lower school nurse. She started working at Springside in 1996. Ann is married to CHA alum Mark Stout, class of 1971, and is a parent of 3 former Springside and CHA students. Ann holds a bachelor's in nursing BSN from Vanderbilt University. Eileen Bond joined SCH in 2014 as the nurse on the Willow Grove campus, and then became the upper school nurse. She has a BA degree from Siena College, an MBA from Wharton, and a bachelor's in nursing from LaSalle University. Amy Keogh, a 2020 honorary alumna, joined Springside in 2005. She is the mother of 3 SCH students and the assistant athletic director and athletic trainer. During this past year, Amy took on the additional significant responsibility of serving as chair of the school's health and safety subcommittee. In this role, she attended multiple COVID-19 seminars over the summer before the 2021 school year and achieved certification in contact tracing from Johns Hopkins University. She helped put together the plan for reopening the school that was submitted to the state and the SCH community. During the school year, as resident contact tracing expert, Amy was responsible for monitoring students with the virus and managing the timing of their return to school. She earned a BS from Westchester University and a master's in education from Wagner College. Dr. Heather Lubell is a parent of 2 boys, a rising SCH senior and a 2018 graduate. Heather's father is also CHA alumnus, class of 57. She serves as the SCH medical director, and in this role was instrumental in guiding, consulting, and advising the school on best practice. When Heather is not advising our administrative team, she's working at her day job as a pediatrician at Yardley Pediatrics. She is a graduate of Haverford College and the University of Pennsylvania Medical School. Thank you and congratulations to our amazing health staff. I don't know why I'm choked up, but who helped us make it through the year. That will never be forgotten. Ann, Eileen, Amy, and Heather.
The 2021 Distinguished Alumna Award is presented to Victoria Mason Ailey, class of 1975. Victoria holds a BA from Brown University and master's in urban planning from Columbia's Graduate School of Architecture, planning, and preservation. Victoria started her career in 1984 at the New York City Department of City Planning. She then worked at the Office of the Manhattan Borough President, where she advised David Dinkins on planning and transportation issues, including the reconstruction of 125th Street. In 1989, Victoria began working at the Metropolitan Transportation Authority in New York, where she served as a policy development manager and a manager of policy and special projects. From 2000 to 2005, she worked for the Philadelphia City Planning Commission, where she was involved in comprehensive city planning, focusing on 34 neighborhoods and using extensive community outreach and engagement. In 2005, she returned to Columbia University, where she served as the Assistant Vice President for Planning and Project Coordination before becoming the Associate Vice President for Planning and Community Affairs, a position she held until November 2020. In this role, she managed the university's interface with elected officials, civic groups, the community, and the campus regarding construction, land use, planning, and community affairs. Victoria is a member of the American Institute of Certified Planners, as well as a member and division chair of the American Planning Association, where she heads the Planning and the Black Community Division. She has spoken at numerous American Planning Association conferences and has been an adjunct professor at Columbia's Graduate School of Architecture, Planning, and Preservation. She was a member of the Springside Board of Trustees and served on the Springside National Alumni Council. On a personal note, Victoria and her daughter, Jennifer, Springside class of 2015, are both celebrating their reunion this weekend. In recognition of all that you have done in service of your profession, congratulations, Victoria.
I just very quickly wanted to say congratulations to all of our award winners. You all are so accomplished and doing so many wonderful things. And I'm so thankful that you are in our SCH community. And I just wanted to, Gordon Gary is rolling off as president of the CHA Alumni Association. And Gordon, you have been so instrumental in coming forth with new ideas. And I know you're running off to the sunset, hoping I don't text you again, but just wanted to give you a little token of our appreciation to say thank you for all that you've done.
I'll just wrap it up for everyone. No, thank you all for coming. Congratulations to all the award winners. That's our award ceremony for 2021.
For all the award winners, is that please stay so you can get a group photo. And then after, you all are absolutely reception where you can exchange. So